Yo, 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 what's popping? So we back at it, man. Let's check this out one time. We got you see the screen, you see the screen, you see the screen. Okay. I know I need more light, y'all. I'm working on getting another light. My light broke. Um, Let me see how see this kind of let's not waste too much time on this. Yeah, I need a better light. Yeah, something that'll be a lot better. No worries. We're gonna work with what we got. All right. So, we got this video right here, the new Apple M4 MacBook, the M4 chip, I think is out. I've been out of the loop for a while again, so I'm just trying to get back into the zone, see what I've been missing out the last few months. I've been, just out and about. You dig me? So yeah, so let's check this out, man.
An M4 iPad Pro or a MacBook Pro? Surely you've heard or even asked this question before, and for such a simple question, it has sparked much debate over the years, leading to an inconclusive answer.
Hmm.
Still, there have been answers boiling down to, well, if you have more money and want more of a laptop-like experience, just buy a MacBook Pro, and
Mm-hmm.
if you're more on a budget and can settle with a tablet experience, well, then buy the iPad Pro.
Yeah, previously I had the iPad M4, and honestly, man, that iPad, beautiful. I had to get rid of it for a reason, you know what I'm saying? But um I'm definitely gonna have to buy it back because I enjoyed every single experience with that M4. It was powerful, it was fast. I mean, there was nothing I was doing that it couldn't handle. I can't, I have nothing but positive things to say. If you don't have an iPad at all, you might as well just go for the best of the best if you can afford it. You feel me? Now, when it comes to the M4, I'm shooting on the M1 right now. I'm using the M1 Max, and there has been nothing I've been able to, damn, I really just broke my watch. There has been nothing that I've been able to do, right? For years that I have not been able to get done with this M1 Max. Straight up. So, um, hold on real quick. So yeah, I just wanted to watch the video to see what he has to say about to hear his opinion because I'm thinking about I want to upgrade, but I don't think I need to upgrade. I just wanted to see if there's a reason to. I'm not gonna upgrade. There's no reason for me to get anything. This M1 Max is really that powerful. You feel me? Hold on, buddy. Don't touch, okay? Close the door. You know what I'm saying? So let's just check this out,
And
man.
while you may be tempted to think that logic makes sense, this year, you would be wrong. That's because for the first time in a long time, the iPad Pro and MacBook Pro have more differences than just their form factor suggests. And while every YouTuber out there won't give the iPad Pro a fair shot, we're not talking about
Yeah, let's see. I'm interested to see what he has to say, what his insights are on the iPad M4 versus the MacBook Pro M4. Let's see what he's saying.
a depressed YouTuber who's had years of downturns and struggles, someone so close to the brink that they're tempted to tear down the previously conceived notions of space and time to determine which computer is the best and most forward-looking device.
Let's
So
go.
today, I'm going to put an end to that debate on which product you should buy, iPad Pro or MacBook Pro. Let's have at it. While it
Let me
seems like
know,
Apple
bro.
products have been following the same design philosophy since the return of Steve Jobs, there's a pretty recent shift in that overall design strategy, and we have seen Apple shift away from focusing on super thin designs and shipping more practical designs that are thicker and sturdier and able to handle more power and deliver
Hmm.
better battery life. That
Yeah.
was the whole premise around the redesign of the 2021 M1 MacBook Pro, and that design regression or progression, depending on however you look at it, was met with praise and rave reviews. And it wasn't just MacBooks. We saw iPhones get thicker, Apple Watches get thicker, and even iPads start to get thicker than the device that preceded it. That is until the M4 iPad Pro flipped that thinking.
Seriously, the way they freaking made it even thinner, faster, more beautiful. How do they keep doing it? How do they keep doing that, bro? Crazy, crazy. Crazy.
back onto its head. You might be wondering why Apple would pursue such a thin design, especially after the string of controversies it faced with easily bendable device. I'm not gonna
Yeah, the bending thing and the man, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, obviously the thinner something is. So I don't know, but I don't mind it, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Just give me something that works, man. I still got my 13 Pro Max. It works. It works great till this day. Of course, I had to drop it, huh?
do. I'm not gonna bend it. I'm not gonna bend my iPad Pro. Well, never one fearful to tackle criticism, Apple made improvements to the overall structural integrity of the iPad Pro, making it even more bend resistant than the previous model, despite it being thinner. I know it's more bend resistant. I'm still not going to try and bend this thing. I'm not going to bend it. This makes the iPad Pro feel paper thin in the hands, and that added with the weight reduced from shaving off all that extra aluminum, I guess, gives the iPad Pro a stunning 15% weight reduction. In fact, it's almost 90% less weight than a MacBook Pro, meaning you could stack 3 of these iPad Pros on top of each other to get about the same weight as this single MacBook Pro. Now, the MacBook Pro, on the other hand, is thicker than its older model.
Of
And by the older
course,
model, I mean the 2020 model.
of
And it weighs more
course,
too. It looks more traditional, and that is to say boring. I mean, just to highlight how
of course. I mean, it's more powerful, so therefore it's yeah, that's
thin
reasonable,
the iPad
right?
Pro is, it is just a hair thicker than the entire lid on the MacBook Pro. However, you know me, I'm a fair guy, and I think comparing both of these devices, it's only fair we add on Apple's Magic Keyboard accessory to the equation. This keyboard also received a redesign, now with aluminum palm rest and a bigger trackpad, making it feel more premium and honestly, more MacBook-like than ever before.
See, I found a cheaper one online when I bought mine. I found a cheaper one online. I can't remember the name of the company right now. Matter of fact, I still have it somewhere. I don't want to have to go and find it for you guys. But yeah, I found a cheaper one online. It definitely gave me the same feel. It was a bit heavier than I anticipated, but the beauty of it, you know how the Apple one only stays this way? Landscape, you can that one had the magnet on the back of it. Can I'll find it on Amazon and I'll put it in the description. But the one I'm talking about, you can use it on the portrait mode or the landscape mode. Catch? Catch. Thank you.
But it also adds weight, and even without any memory or storage, a processor, or a battery, this keyboard still somehow weighs more than the iPad Pro. Still, even bundled together, this is
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know how that's even, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it defeats the whole purpose of being thin. If they could find a way to get to keep the to keep its durability, and if they could find a way to like give it to make it not as heavy, you know what I'm saying? Everybody, people are still buying it regardless though. Like if you need it, use it. If you don't need it, just, you know what I'm saying? So it's a choice, you know.
overall lighter than a MacBook Pro, and even with all the added thickness, the overall package is still thinner than
What?
the MacBook
Hold on,
Pro.
hold on, hold on.
Lighter somehow weighs more than the iPad Pro. Still, even bundled together, this is overall lighter than a MacBook Pro, and even with
Okay.
all the added thickness, the overall package is still thinner than the MacBook Pro. And there's no way around it. The iPad Pro looks cutting edge and futuristic. It has a much more forward-looking design than this. But then there's the port situation. I mean, it's
Careful.
literally a port situation on the iPad Pro because without the Magic Keyboard case, it only has one Thunderbolt 4 USB-C port. That means if you need to charge this device and plug in an external drive at the same time, well, you're out of luck.
Do you guys ever think in the future they're gonna add the ability to, they're gonna add like direct inputs, like, because the SD card slot is not that big. Wouldn't it be dope if somehow in the future they just added that little thing, like they just, just go hook us up, Apple. Hook us up, Apple. You feel me? Put a USB to, but put a SD card slot. Put a SD card slot in there somewhere, bruh. And I was like, come on, I would appreciate
For
that.
a Magic Keyboard user, well, that does net you another USB-C port on the side of the keyboard, but that port can only be used to charge the iPad Pro, so you're still left with only one data connection on the side of the iPad Pro. The M4 MacBook Pro, on the other hand, well, it is better than ever before, and it also makes this
Oh my
comparison the
God,
most unfair that I have ever.
man, it makes me want to cop one. Man, you put me in the, you made me want to cop one, bro. You make me want to get one, bro. This is I don't even know what I need that power for. I don't even know what I need that power for. That I'm telling you, if you got the M1 Max, bruh, I don't know what you're doing on a computer. What the average person does not need more than that power, bro. The M1 is good, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Run because the
but seriously, I can only imagine how much faster render. Let me just watch the video. Let me see how much. What is it gonna actually do on a practical standpoint? You know what I'm saying? On a realistic standpoint, what is it actually gonna do?
4 model now has the same Thunderbolt 4 ports, but 3 of them instead of 1 of them. And on top of that, it also packs an HDMI port, an SD card slot, magnetic charging port, and even a 3.5 millimeter
I'm used to that on my M1 Max, bro. My M1, you know what I'm saying? That ain't nothing new.
Headphone jack. You can plug in good old-fashioned wired headphones directly into the MacBook Pro. You can't do that on the iPad Pro. Still, both of these products miss out on things like USB-A ports and an Ethernet port, and just lack multi-use ports, which is why
Bro, Ethernet. Who's really using Ethernet ports today, bro? Come on now. Who uses Ethernet anymore, though? I mean, I guess some people do, right? Stop. Some people do, right?
if you need a few more ports for any of your devices, you need to check out Anker's 563 docking station, which
I had a feeling a promo was coming up, of course.
provides USB-A ports, 2 additional HDMI ports, a display port, another headphone jack, and you still get to keep a 5 gigabits per second USB-C port, and it's still capable of delivering 30 watts of power, as well as a full wired gigabit Ethernet port that is so useful for stationary setups like this because Ethernet
Not
is so
bad.
much faster and more reliable than relying on a flaky Wi-Fi connection. And
Damn, bro, what you got fiber? What you on?
yes, the crazy part is you can even connect this to the iPad Pro to get full Ethernet connections and access to ports that have never natively been available on my iPad before, letting me easily connect a wide array of accessories like a USB-A thumb drive directly to my iPad, which makes transferring files so much easier. Anker's docking station also solves a pain point many modern-day laptops have, and that is the inability to connect to multiple monitors, and the flexibility of monitor options I can have on my MacBook Pro with support for multiple HDMI connections and the popular DisplayPort option. This feature is especially useful for older M1 or M2 MacBooks, which are limited to just one external monitor. With the Anker 563, I can bypass this limitation and connect 3 full external monitors, and it also makes connecting these monitors so much easier for me because I can just connect this to the dock with one cable anytime I remove it from my desk. And Anker's 563 USB-C docking station also looks great on my desk with a slim and sleek design that matches the aesthetic of my Apple devices. To get your own Anker 563 USB-C docking station, click the link in the description below, and thank you to Anker for sponsoring this video. Surely there is one area where buying a dedicated MacBook Pro is going to net you an advantage with its beautiful 14-inch Super Retina XDR display that can now get up to 1000 nits of full screen brightness and up to 1600 nits of peak brightness for HDR video. It also has a fast 120Hz ProMotion display, making animations and scrolling appear super smooth, and that
It's crazy, bro. I can only imagine how, like, wow. They did it. I said, if the iPad is good, the MacBook's got to be even better.
means it can even moonlight as a little nice display for high frame rate games. Yes, you can play games on a MacBook Pro. It is an impressive display and perhaps one of the most advanced displays Apple has ever made. That is until you take a look at the iPad Pro's display.
Yeah,
The iPad Pro takes all those features I just rattled off about the MacBook Pro and doubles them, literally. The iPad Pro uses
insanity. It's so insanity. But I'll be honest, bro. I'll be honest with my usage, with my use case. Unless you know what to look for, bro. Like the average person, most people are watching things. They're not. Most people aren't even like YouTube videos. Not everybody's watching it at 1080p, really. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the average person is not. Even if you are, you almost have to download a movie or watch it. You have to watch it in a resolution so high to be able to really. The average person is not gonna really like. You're not gonna notice it like that. I mean I'm pretty I do this for real and yeah, I was able to notice it, but what I noticed was other people really won't notice what I'm noticing, right? And you almost got to nitpick in a way. Like it's beautiful, don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful screen, but looking at the screen on my shit right now on my laptop, looking at the images on my laptop, you can't really like it looks almost as good, to be honest with you, and this is the old version. You know what I mean? But I'm not gonna lie, like without a doubt, this the screen is
not
marvelous.
one, but 2 OLED displays simultaneously to create what Apple calls a tandem OLED display. These 2 displays eliminate the traditional downside of using larger OLED panels, which typically result in much lower brightness levels. The 2 OLED displays work together to give you the same brightness rating as Apple's larger LCD display. In fact, it is the same brightness rating found on the MacBook Pro, but at the same time, it also gives you all the benefits of an OLED display, which means it can turn off and on each individual pixel rather than relying on a separate LED backlight, resulting in an even more crisp image with deeper black levels and more eye-catching colors. OLED displays also have a lower response rate than LCD displays, which makes the iPad Pro display feel even smoother. And yes, I can literally notice when scrolling or switching app pages or just looking at the animations on the iPad Pro how much more smooth this display looks and feels even over the MacBook Pro's
It's
display. The only
absolutely
advantage you get
fast. I remember I was at Costco. This is back when I started Amazon, my Amazon business, and I was at Costco. I was about to go in there and prospect on some products, and literally, I was just I can't remember. I just remember sitting in the car, taking some notes, swiping through, and it just hit me how smooth it was. I was on the phone with one of my friends, and I was just talking about it, and I cut the conversation just to talk about that specific thing. I remember that's crazy. It's fast, bro.
with the MacBook Pro display is, yeah, it is larger, 1.2 inches, so it does create a less cramped workspace for using multiple applications, and its aspect ratio, ironically enough, is usually the better choice when watching most video formats. Still, the OLED iPad Pro display is it's a huge improvement over the MacBook Pro's display, and it is clearly the more advanced display on every level. So much so that I don't know what Apple is waiting for. Just ship these great OLED displays on the MacBook Pro already. I'm tired of waiting.
They have
Oh,
to.
and if the analyst could be more clear,
They don't know what they're doing. Come on, they can't give it. When you know you got something good, you got multiple good things. It's not logical. It's not sensible to just give it all at once. Like they're gonna plan it out. They're gonna roll. They're gonna have a rollout. They're gonna. Man, I'm telling you, they probably already got their iPhone 2020. They probably already got iPhone 2020 whatever already. iPhone 17, iPhone 18, iPhone 20. They probably got that way in the cut, just waiting for the right time. All this stuff is strategic, bro. It don't come out. You know this, bro.
and if there's one more reason you want to give an advantage to the iPad Pro, well, it's display as a touch display, while the MacBook Pro doesn't and maybe never will. And it is crazy to think that even with the iPad
I don't think they ever will. If they made a MacBook, as because you can't go back in time when it comes to hardware, right? So if we already have the M4 now, it makes no sense for you to go back, right? So if they manage to have a M5, M6, M7, M whatever the hell, on top of that, you got touchscreen, and you got people talking about they should put Wi-Fi in it. No, not Wi-Fi. They should put 5G. Holy moly, bro, that's crazy, bro. You do that. You do that. You do that. All hell's gonna break loose. That's gonna be crazy. Like they're gonna sell out. I feel like it'll be very difficult, very difficult to find one. It'll be very difficult to find one because I feel people been talking about that. A lot of people I know, even in the tech space, people been talking about that for so long, knowing that it's probably never gonna happen. Because why would they? They're gonna lose. I feel like it doesn't make sense, man. It doesn't make sense. It makes sense to do it for people who love it, but does it make sense as a business to do something to add all of them? That's a lot to add, bro. If you because if the base model is creeping up to 2 racks, 3 racks, you add that feature and that feature. So you telling me you know what I'm saying? We're going, bro. I'm talking about the base on the basic level. What they might do, maybe they might though. Like anything is possible. They might actually do that, right? They might actually do that at some point in time, but make the price so exclusive, kind of like how they do with the Vision Pro. Nobody talks about the Vision Pros no more. Nobody talks about the Vision Pro. It was dope, but it didn't hit. If they did, if they had the same kind of exclusive price range, something for something specific, where man, you're gonna be paying like you're gonna be on the base for the base, you're gonna be paying like five to ten, five on the low ski, five on the low end. You're gonna be paying like that's what I think. That's just my opinion, but I don't think they're gonna do that anytime soon, man. We might all go, maybe in our grandkids' era. You feel me?
Pro being thinner, it is packing all of this hardware into its design. Surely Apple must have cut back somewhere. I mean, a thinner design can't be good for its speakers, right? Well, on multiple listening sessions, the iPad Pro speakers still blow me away with how much volume.
Unbelievable, but it's good. It's good. I'm trying to remember something with my experience. Man, like I said, I have all the iPads I've only had iPad Pros. All the ones the sound has never been something to worry about. It doesn't thump. It doesn't thump like the MacBook Pros, obviously, but it doesn't thump. But definitely, the sound is there. You're gonna know you listening to something. You know what I'm saying?
Clarity, Apple is pumping out of these relatively tiny tablet speakers.
Facts.
Despite that, this is perhaps one area where even Apple Magic can't defy the laws of physics because the 6-speaker system in the MacBook Pro just blows this thing out of the water.
100%.
The MacBook Pro gives so much extra room for the speakers
100%.
to breathe, and they get even louder and clearer than the speakers on the iPad Pro.
Didn't I just tell you that? 100%.
And by a lot, especially in the bass department. These deliver such a deep, satisfying thump thanks to the force-canceling woofers, and while the iPad Pro may sound good when you're lounging on the couch,
Thump.
the MacBook Pro speakers can legitimately fill a room with sound and could go toe-to-toe against some dedicated Bluetooth speakers. Now, when you look at
100%.
the MacBook Pro, you can't help but feel like something
Which is crazy. Which is crazy, bro. How is it that Apple can do all this I'm yet to see a Mac. I'm yet to see a Windows computer have all these features and the battery life still be proper. Man, you gotta give Apple some props, bro. You gotta give Apple some props. The Apple been killing it for a minute, bro. Apple been like, don't get me wrong. If you're on a budget, you're gonna find you something on the Windows platform. But do you know how crazy it is to be Apple? And every single year, 2 years, you drop in the M this, M that, M that is getting faster, faster, more powerful, better sound, faster Wi-Fi. Whoa. And then, you know the crazy thing about Apple? They retain their value more than anything I know. Especially when you travel outside of the country. Holy, bro, you ever been to Nigeria trying to buy I'm trying to buy what's it called? Trying to buy a MacBook Pro from 2010? Bro, they're gonna hit you with the price tag. You're gonna be like, whoa! I thought, how is it this much money if the M whatever just dropped? Nah, bro. They retain their value so well, bro. You can get you like sometimes the MacBook Pro you can get for 500. Any MacBook Pro you can get for $500. I'm trying to be realistic here, right? For $500, if you going, you will not be able to find a unless you're doing gaming. Like if your focus is specifically for gaming, then you might be you might be this might be a different conversation. But for the average Joe, right? For the average, you know what I'm saying? For the average nanny, for the average school person, for your kids, for your whoever, whatever, basic shit. Even shit, things like this, what I'm doing with the screen capturing, bro. A $500 MacBook Pro today in 2025 will literally demolish most Windows computers in every aspect. You might get a Windows computer that has better graphics. Okay, cool. If you need it, sure, right? You might get one that has, you know what I'm saying? You might get the i7, you might get the i5, right? But when it comes to all in one package, you're not gonna get your again the one thing you might not get like the Windows. You might not get the best graphics card. We're talking $500 now. You got to keep that in mind. And you also have to keep in mind the time we're in. Because 10, 15 years from now, the M1 Max, bro, if you can get that shit for $500, oh my god, bro, the kids, the babies today, the kids they have no idea how blessed they are when it comes to tech. What? That's why I don't understand. That's why it's like that's why I don't why do people are so quick to upgrade? Oh, a new job, I'm getting it. Oh, a new disc came out, I'm getting it. Oh, wasting your money. Go get you some stock. Buy the stock. Because what are y'all really upgrading for? Like, what are you really actually doing? You're just wasting your bread. I can't tell you to waste your bread. I can't tell you what you do with your bread. That's on you. But I'm just saying, for 500 bands, for $500, bruh, I'll go with a Windows any day. I'll go to a Mac any day, unless I'm doing gaming. If you specifically doing gaming, you're gonna have better luck, most likely. You know what I'm saying? You're most likely gonna have better luck with what you call it with a Windows, right? If you specific, but if that's not your specific focus, you might as well go to a Mac. Your battery life's gonna be better. The speed is gonna be better. Your shit's not gonna shut off on you randomly. Bro, I can. The list goes on and on. I can't think of all of them right now. But the most important ones: battery life and ability for productivity. Nah, bro, you can't. You're not touching Apple. The only reason you wouldn't go with an Apple is probably maybe you don't like the ecosystem, which I don't know why, because it's simple, it's seamless, it's not hard to understand. You know what I'm saying? Windows is so complicated. Honestly, if you again, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to bash no window now. You know what I'm saying? Windows is for the longest time I was a Windows person till I remember I can't remember when I first got my Mac, but when ever since I was back then I was going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. When I figured out all the programs, all the softwares that I need to do my thing without having to worry, then I completely conform. I ain't never looked back ever since. I've never regretted. I'm not gonna lie to you. Never regretted it, bro. I hate having to edit videos on them, but before 10, 15 minutes, my battery's done. My battery's gone. I have to plug in every time. I might as well just get a freaking desktop. You know what I'm saying? Like what? Nah, Apple. Nah.
Something is missing from this laptop. It's something you might not consider a feature at first, but if you look at the back of both of these devices, you'll realize there's no camera on the back of the MacBook Pro. Yes, the iPad Pro does have a rear-facing 12 megapixel.
And see, and that's the thing. They all have their pros and cons. What is the point of having a front facing camera on a laptop? I mean, okay, fine, you can have the feature. How many times do you actually? It's like the selfie. No, how many times do you? How many times are you going to use it? To be, just keep it on. Just be honest. How many times are you going to? Why would you want to hold your laptop up? And who does that? It's crazy. It's crazy enough already to do it with the iPad. Come on, bro. Like you know what I'm saying? That's unnecessary.
Camera, and strangely enough, it's actually reverted to a one-camera system this year, losing out on its secondary ultra-wide-angle camera that came with the previous iPad Pro. The interesting thing
That I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. I never really used the camera on any of my MacBook Pros. I don't know why. I don't. I have a digital camera. I have a very high professional camera. I got my phone camera. I use it when I need to. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like all these things, we're getting to the point where everything is good. It doesn't matter what you really utilizing anymore. It's time for what matters is now the creativity, the creative aspects of what can you do with what you got. We're literally at that age where it's more about what you can do than what you have. Like before, people were saying that. Those people who are saying because those people who are saying what I'm saying now, back when I was younger and I was watching and I didn't really understand what they mean. But now, after having so many experiences, you start to realize, man, I need all this shit, bro. Bro, majority of the population does not utilize these things to the maximum potential. But when it comes out, everybody's rushing to it like their life depend on it. That's crazy. That's crazy.
is that the front cameras on both of these devices are practically the same now. I mean, number one, the iPad Pro switched the camera to the landscape orientation, so it's kind of sitting in the same spot as the MacBook.
Yeah, man. This is very dope. I like the way he's breaking it down and just kind of going hand in hand. I'm entertaining myself, even thinking about all of this and like just adding what I know, my input. You know what I'm
Now, the
saying?
MacBook Pro also gets the same sitting in the same spot as the MacBook Pros when you have it propped up on the keyboard.
I noticed that. For some reason, it took me a while to get used to that, but I noticed that. Yeah.
And now the MacBook Pro also gets the same center stage webcam as the iPad Pro. So both of these
That center stage is very interesting. If you've never utilized it before, if you've never experienced it, I remember my experience was by mistake one day. I think I had made a random phone call. I forgot that I had center stage on there, and when I moved, it was following me. I was like, oh, whoa, this is dope. Like, can they add that feature as on the camera and not only on FaceTime? I feel like I only utilized it on FaceTime. I never noticed it. I couldn't figure out how to use stage, whatever this thing is called that he's talking about by itself. If anybody knows how to do that, let me know, please.
devices can track your movements when you're moving around.
And I think that's what I'm saying. At some point in time, the upgrades are going to be more software related and not just hardware, right? Because hardware is always going to get better. But I feel like it's going to get to a point where there's only so much you can do with the hardware. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like right now, we're getting MacBook this and that every. I don't know if you know the schedule. Is it every year or every 2 years? I'm saying if it's every 2 years, eventually it's going to be every 4 years because oh my goodness, like how, like what in the world? How do they keep doing? You can't. How do they keep doing this? Seriously.
Admittedly, it is a really cool effect, and both webcams even appear to have a similar video quality. So while the front cameras are pretty much the same, at the end of the day, two cameras are better than one. I think that's what my mom used to say, and that means by default, I have to give this one to the iPad Pro. Okay, what about the performance?
100%.
Surely
100%.
a big, bulkier, full-fledged laptop in 2024 is going to get you more performance than what you can get at a nice,
hundred
thin,
percent.
lightweight tablet that your
Of
nephew
course.
uses at the dinner table to watch Skibbity Toilet. Yeah, I know what Skibbity Toilet is.
The point, but what I'm trying to say though is, bruh, the amount of I wouldn't if you're not really into content creation or things that require, there's no reason for you to be going and trying to get the M4 iPad Pro, bro. Let's be honest, man. You know what I'm saying? People just like to have something so they can say, "Oh yeah, I got it. Yeah, I got it." Yeah, bro. You can get, bro. The average people, the average iPad Pro, the iPad Airs is perfect enough for most people. Let's just keep it above. What is you really doing on it? Y'all just most people, y'all just watching videos, bro. You know what I'm saying, bro? Before you go out and buy the net, just ask yourself: are you actually going to utilize this? What is this really for? Right? Did I buy some Apple stocks today, bro? If you go buy stock before you know what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like,
I'm not that old. Well, technically speaking, that isn't the case here because yes, this super slimmed down, thinner than an iPad has the same exact M4 chip as the one found in the M4
the same exact. That's crazy.
MacBook Pro, meaning that the responsiveness of the operating system, the snappiness in opening apps, and even the performance from artificial benchmarks is pretty much exactly the same on both machines. Now, yeah, there is one difference that does give the MacBook Pro an edge in sustained performance,
Unified
and that
memory,
is because the MacBook Pro is bigger, it does allow Apple
cooler.
to add a dedicated cooling fan to it, which
Ah,
can cool off the M4 chip and reduce throttling during high
I never got to use mine to edit videos long term. I tried to mess with it a little bit. Man, like that was like I said, like I thought about it. I thought about it. I was like, yo, I got the M1 Max and this thing is very powerful. It hasn't let me down yet. Does it make sense to get the M4 Pro, MacBook Pro, or the M4 iPad? That's when I was like, you know what? The iPad Pro, that one makes a lot more sense for me. You know, it's not every time I want to carry. And the thing about the M1 Max, man, it's got some weight on it. It's got some weight on it. You feel me? So yeah,
higher sustained workloads. However, for most people, I doubt they would be able to tell the performance difference between these machines.
and that's the thing. The word here, the language here is most people. I don't think most people are gonna recognize a lot of things with a lot of these things.
And considering most apps and software are written
And that's why most people don't need these things. At least starting out, start small and then work your way up. Don't overthink it.
differently for both of these products, it's kind of hard to do an apples to apples test against both machines, no pun intended. So even though, yes, the MacBook Pro will probably net you a slight performance advantage because of the fan, let's for now, for argument's sake, say because they both use the same chip, therefore they both
Yeah,
have the same performance. All right,
absolutely,
big one here is
absolutely.
operating system. I don't like doing this topic that much anymore because I
They're
feel like
they're
it's always a
different.
rehash
They're different, bro. You know, it's the same thing, but they are different in different ways. There's things you could do on the MacBook that you can't do the same way on the iPad. But true that there almost everything you can do on the MacBook Pro, you can find a way of some sort or some workaround to do it on the iPad Pro. And I would argue that even sometimes there's a lot of things you can do on the iPad because of the apps that are so much easier to do that you can't do with the same way on the MacBook Pro. So that's why it's a preference. And if you can have both, just have both and experiment.
of the same things. So, yes, the iPad Pro over the years has gotten a lot more complicated. You can do split screen multitasking. You can even now do windowed multitasking in Apple's new Stage Manager mode, but it's a lot more limited than what you can get on the Mac, which does offer fully true multitasking without any sort of app limitations. I believe like the most windows you can have open on an iPad Pro is like 4 at the same time. But there, this is a
Man, honestly, bro, because even like four is that's not that much, but it's good. It's okay, right? Because you realize and you notice that you are on a mobile device. It's okay. It's okay. Because especially for someone like me, I don't like clutter. I like to keep my things clean and neat. You know what I'm saying? My space, my workspace, my environment. If I can keep it neat, that is the way I'm going. So honestly, giving you four is like okay. Let's see. They might be teasing too. Let's see how they handle four. Because clearly, because of the M4 chip, clearly it can handle more, right? So it's only all Apple has to do is do an update and allow more windows to if people want if they want they know what they're doing, man. This is all it's all marketing. It's not for a reason because they can literally open source it and have you do whatever they want. They can do a lot of things, man. They're just not gonna do it because they can't tell me it's because of money. Bro, y'all got a lot. Y'all sitting on hella cash.
Pretty good multitasking system for screens this small. So it's not like you're really gonna wanna have that many apps open at once at the same time anyway, and it's not that big of a hassle to pop into different workspaces when you are using the Stage Manager feature. But macOS just gives you a lot more freedom in its multitasking system, and even if you like the system that Apple has here with the iPad Pro with Stage Manager, of course you can get that same feature right on macOS. Now, there's a file system in macOS, it has a desktop operating system. There's a lot more freedom here to
Right.
use macOS. And I don't want to boil it down going comparison against comparison and conflate this whole thing to operating system preferences, because
Right.
for some people, they're going to prefer what you can do on the iPad Pro because it's technically a more simple setup for the operating
Right.
system, right? You have a grid of apps.
And it's different because it's hands on, right? You don't really technically, yeah, I get you can have the keyboard but the point of it is not that. The keyboard is secondary. It's not the first focus. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah.
You press them. It works a lot like your iPhone. And then if you want to get more complex with it, if you want to introduce multitasking, if you want to go into the Files app and kind of have like a little mini file system, if you want to run like a bunch of multitasking apps, you can do that. You even have a lot of professional applications on the iPad now, like Final Cut Pro and Logic, that weren't there a few years ago. So this thing is becoming more pro and more capable day by day, but it still has all the hangups of traditional iPad OS. And I get that some users might prefer that. I get that it's not necessarily a win-win for everyone to switch to macOS, but at the end of the day, my argument always boils down to I can do more on macOS. I can
Mm-hmm.
do a lot more on macOS than I can on my iPad Pro. There's a lot more freedom here. And I think the best argument I can have as to which operating system wins out is the iPad, the operating system, iPad OS, is developed on macOS. You can code on
Okay.
macOS.
I was at first I was wondering what he was gonna say. There is clearly no freaking way that the iPad is better than the Mac. Oh, there's no way that the iPad OS is better than the MacBook Pro OS. I don't understand. How does that make any sense? It's limited to what it can do. They're two different operating systems. Although that obviously the iPad OS was built off of the original of its big brother, its mother, its God, right? Which is the iPad Pro operating system. So there's no way that it could be. It's not better. It's an option. It's good for what it does.
You can develop a whole operating system for the iPad and make all your apps there, and you can't do the same on iPad. You can't.
Exactly. Matter of fact, that's a good thing to bring up. The fact that you can make the apps on there and you can't make the apps for that thing on its own. If I can, the fact that you can't make the apps for iPad on the iPad is crazy. But you can make the app for iPad on a MacBook Pro and they both have the same chip. That doesn't even. Why are Oh my God.
Can't develop Mac OS apps on the iPad. That's basically my winning argument for why Mac OS is the superior operating system, and that doesn't even go to mention a lot of the other features you have with Mac OS now, including new features that were just added, like window tiling and easier management there. So if you're gonna ask me which operating system wins, I give it to Mac OS. But I
Easy.
understand that if this category,
Easy.
you're like, well, I prefer the simplicity of iPad, then you can kind of ignore it. But let's be honest, Mac OS is the winner here.
Yeah.
Okay, the big reveal. Tally it up. Carry the one, and do we have a tie? Oh, there we go again. Greg once again getting accused of playing it safe to the crowd, not
But
crowning the winner.
yo. I'm gonna keep it a bandwagon, bro. I'm gonna keep it a thou wow with you. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear what you have to say, but I'm gonna keep it. I've been keeping it 100, bro. I've been keeping it 100. You feel me?
Sides
So,
of the aisle. I thought this was a YouTube channel, not some sort of political campaign. All right, I'll admit it. I wasn't planning for this to end in a tie, and despite the tie, I was prepared to crown the iPad Pro as the de facto winner of this
I'm so shocked. How? Well, I can find reasons why. I guess I can find reasons
entire
why.
video due to a
M4 chip.
And you know what else is massive?
massive hardware improvement it
Okay.
now has over the MacBook Pro. But then we have to go
Okay.
back
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying now.
and look at the pricing. I know
Yeah.
it's easy to look at the Apple Store pricing and easily
Exactly. Oh my goodness.
conclude that The iPad Pro packs in a better value with a cheaper $1,300 starting price for the 13-inch model, which stacks up so similarly in its use cases against the 14-inch MacBook Pro. However, we have to remember that the starting configuration of the iPad Pro only starts at 256 gigabytes of storage, while the 14-inch MacBook Pro comes with 512 gigabytes of storage. So it's only fair we spec them at the same storage tiers. There you have it.
Okay.
A full-featured premium iPad Pro is $100 cheaper than the MacBook Pro. We have our winner.
Holy shit.
Congratulations to the iPad Pro.
That's insanity, bro. If you actually think about it, bro, if you actually think about it though, if that's brought you, if that's what you're basing your pricing off of, if that's what you're basing your pricing off of, then okay, 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 okay. But based on everything we just deduced throughout this whole video, when it comes to doing more, they could both do the same things in technically, right? But when it comes to doing more, if you don't have either option, I cannot see a better reason to want to go with the iPad Pro first, right? If you've never had one and you're buying something that you can really use to for your productivity and all, I can see a better reason to. I don't see why the iPad would be your first product. Now, if you already have, like I do, for example, you got the M1 Max or something, you want to upgrade to the M4. You know what I'm saying? You know your M1 Max can still handle most of everything that you're throwing at it. You know that, if not everything in fact, everything you're throwing at it. Let's keep it a buck. The rendering on the M4 might be a little bit faster. The rendering might be, you know what I'm saying? The rendering might be faster, but the M1 Max, is it really that much faster that you have to? Nah, it makes more sense to just get the iPad. At that point, that's what led me to my decision.
Taking the crown in this fair challenge.
Because at the end of the day, if you already got that, you're not missing too much. You're not missing too much from going. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
For the first time since 2017, bravo, iPad Pro. Bravo. Take a bow. Take a bow. You did it. You won. You won. Wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
I left something out.
Ah!
Yes, it's hard to.
You got me, family. I was trying to see what you. Okay, I thought you made your choice. Yeah, everything I said was fact for me. That's why I chose the iPad. But let me see what you're saying now. Let me see what you're saying now.
This year, Apple gave a major boost to the starting value of the MacBook Pro, starting it now with 16 gigabytes of memory. Now, while the iPad Pro doesn't display its memory on the configuration page, a deep dive into the tech specs will reveal two things. First of all, storage options below 1 terabyte come with 8 gigabytes of memory, meaning that if you want the same 16 gigabytes of memory as a MacBook Pro, you have to choose the 1 or 2 terabyte option. Choosing that option reveals something pretty startling as well, and that is the iPad Pro, when matched spec for spec against an equally configured 1 terabyte MacBook Pro, is $100 more expensive than the MacBook.
Yeah.
Historically, that is a major departure from.
Exactly. Which is, I didn't even realize that's how much. I ain't gonna lie, because I had the 16 gig model. Now that I think about it, damn, I put bread. Oh my god, I put a lot of. I lost bread because I ended up having to get rid of it for. It's got a whole backstory, but damn.
iPad Pro pricing. This is the first time that an iPad Pro, pound for pound, spec for spec, has ever been more expensive than a MacBook Pro, and
which is insanity. Like, but if you consider what you're getting, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, even if you got the 512 gig model, if you consider what you're getting, bro. No, I lied. I did get that's the one I did. So I didn't realize. I thought I had 16 gigs. I had 8 gigs because I paid around 1,700 altogether. You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't have got the 16 gig model. I believe mine was 8 gigs. But damn, that shit was wow. That was fast for 8 gig, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's insanity. But again, like I was saying, if you consider everything you're getting, promotion, all the M4 features of the same specs for the computer side, you know what I'm saying? The portability, right? The latest Wi-Fi feature, right? The 5G, right? Bro, this is hands down you can't find anything better. The only thing that would make anything better in terms of tablet wise with Android, if it had the same specs, is the freedom to pretty much almost do whatever you want, right? Because Apple does have limitations to only, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of, I don't want to even get to all of that right now, but like, yeah.
That's without adding on the optional $350 Magic Keyboard
Oh
or
my
the
God,
optional
yeah.
Apple Pencil that we didn't even
That's why I ended up, yeah, and I had the Apple Pencil too. That's why I ended up getting or going with the, what do you want to call it? I ended up going with the different model with a different brand for the keyboard, and I'll put the links in the description if you guys want to go. Because man, I was after I bought that, man, I was trying to save some money, bro. I was creeping up to slightly above 2 racks, man. I'm like, golly.
really talk about in today's video. Yeah, if you're an artist, you get an Apple Pencil, you could draw on the iPad Pro. What? Yeah, you get that point already, right?
And I ain't gonna lie, that the iPad, the new pencil is fire. No matter hands down, no matter how you want to put it, fire.
The iPad Pro, if you add on both of these accessories, easily outprices the MacBook. It sends this iPad into the stratosphere in terms of pricing. Secondly, even if we get rid of the accessories and we disregard the fact that the storage tiers aren't the same or the memory tiers aren't the same, maybe you can argue you don't need that on an iPad Pro. While another look at this tech spec page brings up an inconvenient truth, and that is that the base iPad Pros also ship with a weaker M4 chip, which loses out on one high-performance CPU core. That completely changes the tie I gave these.
That's crazy. And another thing about the 1 terabyte version, that's the only way to get the promotion. But not the promotion, but the he talked about it heavily in the beginning of the video. It was the 1 terabyte versions give you the OLED. The OLED. That's the only way. So like that's what I'm saying. They know what they're doing. Like
The performance round category because I was comparing my own 1 terabyte iPad Pro against the base model M4 MacBook Pro. And I've been grading the iPad Pro on a curve this entire video because I didn't even mention battery life. The MacBook
hold on, what? And you've been what?
base model M4 MacBook Pro. And I've been grading the iPad Pro on a curve this entire video because I didn't even mention battery life. The MacBook Pro battery life has been getting better and better. The M4 version can now get up to 24 hours of battery life, while the iPad Pro is still stuck at its rating of 10 hours of battery life. It is impossible to ignore this stark and
Yeah.
drastic value difference, meaning that yes, for most people, the MacBook Pro is the more practical
100, like I said, man, 100%, 100%. If you, for most people, don't let this name M this M, bro. Look at what you actually need, right? When you look at it, you're gonna realize what you need is what you need, or what you need is really not what you need. Look into it.
and probably the better overall choice. I can't believe that this thing winds up being cheaper than the iPad Pro. It is crazy how far Apple has taken iPad Pro pricing. Now, yes, I acknowledge that even though I think there is a clear winner this year, maybe more than ever before, there are still reasons to pick up an iPad Pro. In my mind, it is the most cutting edge piece of hardware that Apple sells, and yeah, I guess that does come at a literal price this year. It is also a better product for people that want a lighter weight, more portable setup, people that want to use a tablet, people that want a simpler operating system that works more like their phone, and for users that need a touchscreen or the various Pro-related inputs for tasks that you might do on your iPad Pro. No matter how good this MacBook Pro is, it's not going to be a great device if you want to draw directly on the screen. I get that. So at the end of the day, we still partially get a politician's response. But
What?
device, if you want to draw it directly on the screen, I get on your iPad Pro. No matter how good this MacBook Pro is, it's not going to be a
Oh,
great
okay, yeah,
device if you
yeah,
want to draw it directly on the screen. I get that.
exactly. They all have their pros and cons, guys. Like, yeah.
So at the end of the day, we
Just like there's no perfect relationship, there's no perfect setup, really. There's always going to be something you wish can do. You know what I'm saying?
still partially get a politician's response, but this time more realistically grounded. But all right, I had my say. Now it's your turn. What do you think is the better computer? Which one would you choose in the new year?
I've given you guys my opinion, my thoughts. Let me know down in the comments if you enjoyed the video and my commentary on what I think about all of this. Now, what will I choose? I think I kind of gave you the idea what I would go for. So drop in your comments. Let me know what you think about it. And I'm out. Hey, yo, great. Thank you, man. This was a great comparison. I loved it.
And which one do you think should take the winning spot? As always, if you like this